Hello, everyone. Rideshare news is everywhere lately, but behind every headline is a real person. This story made me stop and think, and I want to share the lesson I took from it. Uber has a lot of contractors, and they also have a lot of passengers, and sometimes passengers, once they get out the vehicle, they may leave behind an item. Now, normally the protocol would be that the driver would return said item to the passenger and would receive $20 or some kind of money for having to deal with that inconvenience because Uber always wants to cater to the customer. They believe that the customer is always right. And I believe that the customer is sometimes right. But again, this is not about me. So let's continue. So Uber stops paying drivers for lost item returns. Now, this is highly powerful. I can speak on this because when I was driving for Uber as well as Lyft, there were times that the passenger left something in the back of my car. So much so, I would go through the process that I just stated not too long ago. I would go 30 to 45 minutes, return the item like how I did with a young lady that left her charger in the back of my car. I just took it back to her home. However, I was paid $20 for that. And that happened about three different other occasions. It wasn't necessarily a charger. In fact, one time someone left their medicine in the back. Another time someone left a military license. And in both of those cases, well, not both. In one of those cases, in reference to the medicine, I tried giving the individual his medicine back, going back to the Walmart. The thing was, though, once I got to Walmart, he no longer answered the phone. Now, was I upset? No. Was I disappointed because I did a drive and I still had the medicine in my possession? No. Would you all like to know the reason why I did not feel any disdain or disappointment that the individual client that left their medicine never came to got it? You guessed it, because I got paid. I got paid. And did I get paid a lot of money? No, I only got paid $20. But that still is better than zero. For me, I don't know about you all, but for me, that's better than zero. So I was appreciative and I was grateful. Now, for those out there that are drivers, or those that are out there thinking about becoming drivers, and even the passengers, you all can chime in because you can be a passenger today and just got through the background check and you can become a driver tomorrow. Now, what would you do with the new policy that Uber has where if a passenger leaves something in your vehicle, you still have to take it back to them, but you do not get paid for it? I know it almost seems like a morale dilemma, doesn't it? Like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to be a service in that way because I'm not getting paid. And I get it, it's nothing personal, it's just business. So, though I am no longer part of the rideshare family in that capacity, if I had to put myself back behind the wheel and on the journey to over 2,000 rides, and I came across this situation where Uber was like, hey, we will no longer be paying drivers for lost items returned. Now, there's two ways I would handle this. And by the time I get done articulating these two ways, there may be three. But for now, I'm just going to go with two. The first thing I would do is I like to negotiate and I don't take things personal. And it's business, right? And since it's business, I would gladly call the passenger and say, hey, you're going to have to pay me $20. Now, some may say, or some may think, well, Charles, what if they tell you they're not going to pay you? Well, this is the thing. If their item is a necessity, my hypothesis is that they're going to pay me. You know how I know? Because that's how it went when it came to returning the item. Now, he or she may be a smart passenger and says, Uber says that they're not paying you all, therefore, I do not have to pay you all. Will I get mad? No. Will I cuss her out? No. I will calmly say, okay, well, thank you. Um, Take care. I'm not going to be able to bring your item to you because you are unable to pay the $20, which I don't fault you. It just let me know that the item that of yours that I have in my possession is not a necessity to be back in yours. And the way I figure that this would go was that I would hang up the phone, and 7 minutes later, I would get a call back and say, hey, I have $20. Do you take Cash App? I do. And then I would be behind my wheel with my music turned up to a volume that is not hurting my ears. And I would be on the way to giving them their item. But first, before I give them their item, I will check the Cash App to make sure the $20 is there. I will make sure that if they don't do the Cash App, that they will hand me the cash. It can be in all ones. It can be in ones and quarters, a few pennies, as long as it tallies up to 20. And if I'm in her driveway or his driveway or in the apartment complex and they do not bring me my money, guess what I would do? I would pull off. Second thing I would do. The second thing I would do, I would say, hey, I just want to call you and let you know that I do have your item. But since there's no money at the end of this commute, I'm not going to be able to push the pedal on my vehicle and drive forward to give you what you stated that you need. That's the second thing I would do. And since the third time is the charm, and again, it's all business, how I stated earlier. The third thing I would do would ask them, hey, David, or hey, Michelle, how important is this item to you? Let's say they say it's highly important. I would say, do you think it's worth more than $20? And once they say yes, or they say I believe so, or definitely it is, guess what? I'm gonna say, okay, then when you have the $20, it'll be back to you in 30 to 45 minutes. But if they stand on their heel and stick with the Uber policy, the new policy, they will not be having their item that they deem was a necessity. I know you all may say, Charles, you are wrong for that. You're evil. No, I'm a business person, and that's business. Don't blame me. I'm just doing what you should be doing. In fact, you all out there that still do Uber, how do you all handle that currently? Because I don't know. Like I said, I'm out of doing the gig work. I'm out of driving for Uber and Lyft. So how do you all handle it? I read articles where some folks said they just keep the items. Some folks say they throw it in the trash, but You all definitely tell me because I just don't know. I really don't. I mean, what was Uber thinking when they came up with that rule? Probably was thinking, you know what, we're gonna keep a little bit of coins. Because again, let's say it was just $20, which to some people is not a lot of money. I mean, $20 could get you some things, and it depends on if you have a family, kids. $20 can get you a long way. When you add in all of the contractors that Uber has, that's a lot of money. A lot of money. So it's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. So I don't know what the future is going to hold as far as that go. But if you all enjoyed this story and would like more stories such as these, feel free to send me your address and I can mail you a copy of my book, Miles Behind Me, Memoir from a Former Rideshare Driver. Um, the details are in the description. And you all continue to have a good day. Peace.